The TMNT Naruto crossover comic has officially reached its conclusion with issue number 4. And before I get into things, all I'm going to say is that this was a very fun read for this crossover. I liked the interactions, I liked how the characters were presented for the most part, and I am happy with how it ended. I do have my critiques, but that will be saved towards the end of the video, as I will be going over issues 3 and 4 for this video, going over the rest of the story, as I've already covered issue 2 on this channel, and issue 1 was on my original channel, The Greek Weeb, if you want to check that out. But I will do a compilation of all the reviews for this crossover into one big video, so you can have a nice, neat place to see the entire story and my thoughts on it. But before we jump into things, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content here on the channel, shows you want to see more, and I will try and do some TMNT videos because I am loving those comics and I do want to talk about them. I wanted to talk about those for a long time, so I'm going to be planning a couple of those for later on in the future. Now then, let's jump right into issue 3 of the TMNT Naruto crossover. And we start off with Team 7 looking out at Big Apple Village with the Ninja Turtles, as they are showing them the sights around the city and just being tour guides for the most part, even showing them around and eventually seeing some foot ninjas just causing some troubles and problems as the turtles go down and stop them, saving these pedestrians. I also kind of like how when the turtles jump down to stop the Foot Clan ninjas, Team 7 are just being like, they got this handled, and Naruto just being like, should we help? I feel like we should help. I kind of like that. It's a funny moment. But it's then that the Ninja Turtles just walk into a pizzeria and just grab a boatload of pizzas as a thank you for saving them from the foot. And once they get the pizzas, they go down to the sewers to make it back to the lair. But we then cut to Foot Clan Castle, where the Shredder has April and Splinter held captive. As we remember from the last issue, the Shredder and his foot ninjas found their lair and just attacked and abducted Splinter and April. And Shredder reveals it was Alopex that found their lair by managing to sniff it out. He also reveals that he was the one that mutated Alopex, but she isn't the demon in the Foot Clan that he hoped her to be after mutating her, which really pisses Splinter off, as he basically, by force, turned an orphan into a soldier for his own gains, kind of technically ruining her life to an extent, which I agree, Shredder is despicable. Now, April ends up asking the Shredder, what are you going to do with us? As bait for the turtles or to decipher Stockman's scroll? Because he hasn't done either yet. Shredder says, oh yeah, no, don't worry, I am using you as bait, but the last copy of the ooze research, he then reveals that hidden inside the scroll was the actual final vial of Stockman's ooze, as he hid it in there and April was carrying it the entire time. But Shredder ends up revealing that one of the reasons why he wanted this ooze wasn't to kind of proliferate it, he wanted to see its true efficiency and its true power and use, for someone worthy enough to have the last bit of the ooze created, placed, and mutating them to give them power. But back to the lair, the group returns, seeing that everything was completely broken down and raided, coming to the conclusion that, yeah, the Shredder and the Foot Clan ended up taking them and barged their home. So that sets up them heading over to find Splinter and April. Cutting back to Foot Clan headquarters, Shredder brings over 4 of his most loyal and skilled ninjas and then begins to pour some of the ooze on them, saying that they should be honored, as then they begin to morph and mutate into mutant monstrosities. Now, how these mutants get mutated ends up shocking Alopex, wondering, am I a monster? Is this what it's like to be a mutant? But Splinter tells her that sometimes you can't decide your lot in life, but the path you choose, your future, ends up being what you yourself decide. You saw my family's decision, what will yours be? Shredder looks over towards Splinter and tells his new mutant soldiers to rise and to cleanse the Foot Clan castle of vermin. But Alopex says you can't. I did everything you asked, showcasing that Shredder was actually going to betray her. But like clockwork, Team 7 and the Turtles barge in to save the day. I really like this group panel shot of the Turtles and Team 7 busting into Foot HQ. It looks really, really cool, and I really like a lot of these team up panels. The art in this comic, if I haven't said it already, is phenomenal. But Shredder then has his mutants go and attack the group, with the red mutant attacking Sakura and Raph, as Raph tries to fight it, but he ends up getting outsped by it until Sakura manages to grab him and pull him out of the way, as this guy is very tough. Raph says he's got an idea, as Sakura can kind of guess, you want me to throw you, don't you? As Raph says, oh yeah, 100%. As she tosses Raph with all of her strength with the Cherry Blossom Shell Smash, as he then busts right through the ninja and manages to knock him out. Very quick fight for that instance. While I'm a little disappointed, I wish we got to see a bit more of this fight to be more than just like a page and a half, 2 pages. But either way, throwing Raph at full force so he can break and knock him down, that's fine. I just wish it was a bit longer. We then cut to Leo and Kakashi fighting the yellow ninja mutant, as they're basically getting knocked back with his blades protruding from his body. But despite its intelligence not being the best, it's still very durable. But Kakashi ends up coming up with an idea and asks Leo to hold him back for a second, buy him some time. Quickly distracts the mutant, as then Kakashi gets his lightning blade ready as him and Leo lunge forward as Kakashi imbues his Chidori, his lightning blade, into Leo's katana as they both strike right at the mutant ninja, dismembering it, taking him down in one fell swoop with the lightning katana. As 2 of them bump fists, saying that was really flashy. Again, I wish this was just a bit quicker, but again, we have, limited space for this issue. It was still fun to read, and I liked the combination of Kakashi and Leo. It was very nice. But we then cut to Sasuke and Donatello of all pairings taking on the blue ninja mutant. They're also having trouble with the durability of this ninja, but they're coming up with ways to get around it. Sasuke using his Sharingan to kind of see its patterns to try and find a way to break through it, and Donatello using his mind to try and find the patterns. After a few more brief clashes, Donatello says that he's found a way to break through and has an idea. And so him and Sasuke lunge forward and then jump right off, lunging right at the ninja with a Sharingan staff attack, which not the best name if I'm being honest, and crash this ninja right into the ground, defeating it. Full disclosure, this is definitely the most disappointing fight. I wish, again, for this issue, these fights should be longer, but the main thing is that while the other 2 have been really cool in how they were defeated, combining abilities, this one just came down to, well, 2 guys kicking him at the same time at full force. It just wasn't that impressive to me. But now we have Naruto and Mikey taking on the purple ninja mutant, as they're also having similar problems. As they're taking these hits, Mikey comes up with an idea using pizza as a piece of inspiration, saying as how they get through dough by spinning it. And Naruto instantly understands what Mikey means by this. The 2 of them get ready to launch an attack, as then Mikey and Naruto jump and attack the ninja at both sides with an Uzumaki Angelo barrage, knocking him down. Winning this fight, as these mutant ninjas got taken out relatively easily with some big attacks. Now, this was not the most impressive. When I heard, spinning, I was thinking Naruto was going to use the Rasengan to hit him while Mikey gave him a big opening or something like that. Or if they're going to do a barrage attack, have Naruto use shadow clones. But it's fine. The choreography of that fight was fun, and I like how Mikey came up with an idea using pizza as inspiration. That's very Mikey. But other than that, it just wasn't all too impressive, and I feel like they could have done more to utilize Naruto and Mikey teaming up in a fight. So yeah, 2 out of 4 were good fights. The other 2 were kind of mid, or one was just disappointing. But now all that's left is the Shredder, as he's standing against Team 7 and the Turtles. But when that happens, he says, you know nothing of Lost Mutant, but you will soon, as the Shredder breaks the mutagen ooze and begins to drink it, as he then begins to warp and mutate into his new form, telling everyone that this is true power, my true power, as he begins to shift and morph, with the final image of the issue being Shredder in his new mutated form staring down our team of heroes, as he is now the Super Shredder. And that ends issue 3. Now let's move on to the 4th and final issue of the Naruto Ninja Turtles crossover. And we are wasting no time with this issue, as the Shredder is bombarded by all sides by our team of heroes, as he's saying that you are fools, your attacks are pathetic and are a parade of powerlessness, as he's knocking each and every one of them back, as their attacks are doing nothing, as he keeps breaking them forward and back, all while Alopex manages to save April and Splinter, as she kinda wants to just flat out survive. But as this is going on, our team of heroes end up being on the back foot on the ground, injured from the fight, as the Shredder is literally just a freaking monster. But Naruto, after saying this, ends up going into his mindscape, as the nine-tailed fox Kurama ends up saying, how about I give you some of my power and see which monster is truly powerful? Let me go free and we'll see how this goes. Or maybe you want to watch your friends perish. But Naruto says, I don't need your power. I fight to earn my own strength. I decide how to protect my friend. As Naruto begins to leak Nine Tails chakra. Now, I know there's going to be people saying, wow, Naruto said I don't need your power when he's starting to leak Nine Tails chakra, but this isn't really him, like, full on taking Kurama's power. This just tends to happen when Naruto gets serious, and Kurama's chakra is supposed to leak out at certain moments. This is just one of those moments where this is now going to boost Naruto's strength and speed. But facing the Shredder, he begins to laugh, telling him how everything he said is pointless and that his friends are on the ground hurt. He ends up saying that he was born alone in the gutters of a Big Apple village, weak and helpless, and so he forged a path against fate, and he would live beholden to no one, taking what he wanted. But with the power of the ooze, he can cast off even the petty albatross of underworld command. He can go anywhere and everywhere, as he will raise Big Apple Village to the ground and from its ashes be reborn and redefined as a being of pure possibility, and he will become true power, showing that he wants to destroy the village and kind of rebuild it as his own true empire to an extent. But Naruto goes towards him and says that that's the dumbest bunch of excuses I've ever heard, going over his backstory, how some people are born alone but nobody survives without help, saying that the Foot Clan, the castle, he stole power and played at being a ninja to prey on others, all just for his own selfishness, and even betrayed the teacher that treated him like family, referring to Hamato Yoshi. And in that instance, Naruto then uses the multi-shadow clone jutsu to launch a counterattack against the Shredder, saying he can't forgive that, and that if he can't even protect his friends here in Big Apple Village, then he wouldn't be able to be the Hokage, as this ends up giving everybody second wind as he launched the shadow clones right at Shredder, as the turtles jump back in to fight even more. They launch more of their attacks on Shredder, knocking him back and even managing to land a good number of hits. But it's not doing too much with how they're going about things, and so I need to come up with a plan. Now Sakura says that the floorboards beneath them, the platform, isn't a big enough piece that she could launch everybody within striking range and get a good angle. Dani also says after analyzing how the fight has gone and the Shredder's body, it's most likely some type of biometal that theoretically should be vulnerable to electricity. And when they hear that, Kakashi and Sasuke end up charging up their Chidoris and lightning blades in order to help them out and give them the advantage they need. Sakura holds up the giant platform of rubble and has the turtles and the rest of Team 7 on top as she launches them with the Cherry Blossom Catapult. And in an awesome sequence, Kakashi and Sasuke team up and use a lightning Chidori scissors attack to cross slash against the Super Shredder, managing to stun him and deal him enough damage as to now everybody else, all the turtles included, and then Naruto hit him with a large barrage of slashes and hits, managing to knock him back and deal significant damage. But despite all that, he is still standing and still ready to fight. Leo says they're kind of running on empty, but only enough for one last finishing move, and they gotta hit him all at once with an all-out attack. But Naruto says, you showed me how to surf the sewers. If you're ready to ride some wind, I think we can grind this fight with the Shredder to a halt, as Naruto gets ready to charge up a Rasengan using his Nine Tails chakra. And this is actually a really cool reference because for a lot of people that don't know, Naruto's chakra was actually supposed to be orange, because how chakra worked in Naruto, Kishimoto originally wanted it to be a different color per person to add a bit of individuality for it. But the anime made all of it blue, so they kind of just went with it being blue. So this is actually a really nice, at least I hope so, Easter egg as to what the Rasengan would have looked like if the anime knew about it being orange to begin with. So that's really, really cool. Seeing the money shot, April gets her camera ready in order to see them deal the finishing blow, as now Naruto and everybody else launch forward at the Shredder, hitting him with the half-shell Rasengan spiral sphere. And from what I can tell, he's using the wind created from his Rasengan in order to help pull them in for a spiral-like attack. And I just like this page spread. I like full-on team attacks like this, and it just looks really cool. As you then see that the Shredder is hit by a barrage of powerful blows alongside the Rasengan. And as Shredder is fading away, all Naruto tells him is to believe it, as the final image of this fight is the Shredder exploding from the barrage of attacks from everyone involved as they defeat the Shredder. But all that's left is an oozing helmet, with Kakashi saying that maybe it's because of the ooze, but he can still sense Shredder's chakra and that he's not gone for good. But the turtles hugging Splinter end up saying that even regardless of that fact, they'll still be able to fight and take him on again next time time, they will be ready for him. And I kind of like this. Shows an open door for Shredder to return if they actually decide to do a second crossover event with Naruto, which, as everybody is wrapping things up, Splinter actually invites Alopex to come back to their lair and live with them, kind of be a part of their clan, their family, as there's room for her there. As Kakashi also says that they should probably go back to the Leaf Village and let the Hokage know about everything that's happened. But Mikey says, okay, I hear all this saying goodbye stuff, but we still got one thing to do first, and that's eat some pizza. With the final page of this issue and this whole crossover being Team 7 and the Ninja Turtles sitting down at the table having a boatload of pizza. And that's the end of the Naruto TMNT crossover. Honestly, overall, I liked it. I think it was a good crossover with a nice condensed story to tell with the Naruto characters and TMNT characters in the Naruto world interacting. It's fun. While I do think that like with stuff like Sasuke and Sakura, how their movesets are, it can't really fully fit in this timeline of the main series. This alternate world, I can see how things could be potentially different and altered to fit the narrative here. And it makes for some fun interactions. Though I do kind of wish that this was maybe like a 5 or a 6 issue series. That way for issue 3 to be completely, fully the beginnings of the fight with the elite mutant ninjas, and then having it conclude in issue 4 with Shredder turning into Super Shredder, and then issue 5 and 6 being the final fight with the Shredder and a bit more character stuff. Either way, I do like the action in all of these issues. I like how the Turtles are portrayed in this universe, and I like how Team 7's portrayed. All of it just feels like a lot of fun. It feels like a really fun read, and I will get the physical volume of this once it officially comes out, and I want to add it to my collection. If they have another crossover like this, I'm going to read it. It's a lot of fun, and I kind of hope that it happens again. Now all that's left is for Ninja Turtles to, if Disney allows it, to finally have a crossover with freaking Spider-Man. It just feels like a legitimate waste and the most obvious crossover in the world for that not to have happened. But hey, I just love these two characters and think that they would end up being in a perfect crossover. But hey, that's just me. Overall, really great crossover. I love this and I cannot wait for more. But what did you guys think of this crossover? Were you a fan of Ninja Turtles or Naruto? Are you feeling the need to watch or read the material for Naruto or the Ninja Turtles if you're a fan of either or? Let me know in the comments section down below and what you thought of this crossover. See you next time, and hopefully I have some videos with the Turtles in the half shell.